Deputy Murphy, did you want to ask a question?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for
time now because.
Thank you for allowing me to come back in, and I apologise to the witnesses for coming in a second time. And it does relate to what I said earlier, Chair, before the witnesses came in about the PAC taking more of a role and spending more time and resources with NAMA. I just wanted to touch just briefly on a couple of things and then look at something in relation to process. On the IBRC side, and I know that there's not much you can talk about, but just to clarify, your time horizon for working out that those loans as they come across is 2020 as well?
If the assumptions hold up that was put in place by the previous management and board, when we look at it, we would hope that it would be the same timeline.
Okay, and that would be then an amount potentially in the region of 20 billion?
Well, it's about 22 billion in par debt terms, and we expect about somewhere 12 to 13 billion in terms of what we pay for them.
And is it envisaged that that will come into NAMA, or you set up a second NAMA?
No, it will come into NAMA. It will come into NAMA. I mean, our existing NAMA loans are in one SPV, and we'll have a new SPV. We're directed by the Minister to form a new SPV, which is National Asset Resolution Limited, and all those loans will go into that, or a subsidiary of that.
So you'll work them through those two different special loans?
Yeah, and the board is very clear. We're going to, even though there'll be consolidated reporting, we will disclose the figures on performance separately between the existing NAMA book and the future IBRC book.
So IBRC moving across, though, in a way, does it completely undo your business strategy?
No, I think it's. I think there's some sort of. I think it's some sort of way. There's a synergy to be got. But what it does do is that we had an existing loan book where we had worked out strategies for each of the debtors, 800 debtors. Now we're getting 2,400 debtors, excluding the residential mortgages, which, I mean, their strategy will be determined by the central bank's mortgage code anyway. But it'll just mean we'll have to look at those 2,400 debtors and figure out was the strategies put in place by the previous IBRC management appropriate, or will we actually have to revise those strategies?
But can you do that? Can you manage the assets in terms of the asset management phase that NAMA is now in, first SPV, while then doing all that diligence work?
Yeah, absolutely, because that's why we need to recruit 220 staff to do that.
Okay. That would, in itself, is a process that will take time.
It will, yeah, but we planned it, as we said, as I said to Deputy MacDonald, between ourselves and the service providers, of the 630 people that's in IBRC at present, we expect that up to 500 of them will be employed by ourselves and the service providers. So
up to 500?
Yeah.
And just then, the other thing was in relation to the Troika, because they were mentioned a couple of times. They set down the repayment schedule for the bonds up to 2020.
They have set the repayment schedule on the NAMA bonds definitively up to the end of 2013, while Ireland's in a bailout programme. And post 2013, they clearly have an interest in terms of, especially the ECB, because the bonds we give to the banks are being used by the banks to get money from the ECB. So the ECB would have an interest in how quickly we can work it out then. So they would be aware broadly of our plans to get all that done by 2020.
But the plan that we have in place, the targets you went earlier about 50% by 2016 and 80% by 2018, that was set by the Troika. They're aware of it, yes. But did they set it?
No. It's like the government's at present dealing with the Troika. The conditionality at present is up to the end of 2013. If there's going to be future conditionality, I'm sure to form part of that.
And will they have influence post 2013 on that repayment schedule? Should they feel that maybe